Right. Hey everyone, it's Sean here. Yes, I'm still stuck in the realm of Urgu. Unfortunately, we can't get myself a new webcam for a little while, so that's what's going on. So, unfortunately, I'm still in the fog. But we'll introduce my co-host today, my own little snotling. It's Aiden.
Hello.
We also have the two guests today. So, a man who's a gargan of himself is Wes.
How you going, mate?
Good. And we also have our new Xenos Inquisitor, Adam.
There you go.
These are cheesy, but I like doing these little intros. so, so what we'll do is we'll talk about a few articles that have popped up during the week, and yeah, we'll start. Right? Entire screen, yes. Boom. So much quicker now. Getting good at this. All right, so from warband to army is what I saw, and I thought this was actually a good article, especially for those who are playing Warcry or they're doing Path to Glory. This is one of those prime examples where you play this small little warband or Path to Glory, whatever you're doing, and then eventually you start building, putting more models into this army, and eventually you get that fully fledged 2,000 or 2,500 point army. I don't know if you guys had a chance to have a look at this or not.
No, I haven't had a chance to look at that one yet. But
No.
No, that's fair enough.
doesn't really help that I don't play Warcry, and I'm already invested in 40k, so there's no need to go small and build up for me.
Fair enough. I mean, like I say, I know with the new turn, with what's happening with Warcry, hopefully, might get other people into it. Because not everyone wants to play a Chaos Warband, so.
Yeah, well, they released like all the cards for, not for all the factions. Like, I don't think the dwarves are in it or something. But didn't they release cards for a lot of the factions in there?
Yes, yeah. I just mean, how they're doing new model range and all that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're going to cover that, aren't we?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we're going to cover it. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's going to if it gets more people into AOS, the better.
That's it. Yeah. And now we've got, on a 40k side, charging and how to do it.
Now, this article I haven't read, but I've had a quick glimpse at it, like a very brief squiz, and it's honestly surprising to see Games Workshop pushing, like, being a better mechanical player.
Yeah.
Was my biggest takeaway from it.
Yeah, I find it's an interesting because, I mean, I know in 40k is very shooting, but in Age of Sigma, like where charging can make a difference, especially when you position your army and your models.
Yeah, I didn't read the article, but I mean, it's a pretty basic function of the game. I mean, I know it's 40k and people struggle with it, but I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird article. I mean, is there issues with, like, is there janky stuff you can do in the edition of 40k with charges, or?
Yeah, to actually get the most out of charging in that in 40k, it described down the bottom wrapping and what they call tri-pointing, which is essentially being able to lock a unit in combat so it can't fall back, and that, like, to effectively play a melee army, you need to know how to do these, otherwise you're just going to get shut off the board next turn. So that's why I found it really interesting that they were pushing pretty higher level concepts for 40k in an article on a site where they're generally very casual with casual and model pushing rather than competitive. So
yeah, I'm not going to pretend to be a 40k guy at the moment, but is melee, like, is that something that suffers? Is 40k still shooting orientated, or?
40k is 100% still shooting orientated. So
that might be just trying to help melee players.
Oh, there are like gene stealers and stuff like that out there that you still do see melee with, and those units are very strong. But yeah, like you still kind of need to know these mechanics, I guess. Like I've seen a lot of orc players and that charge 30 boys into something, delete it, and then not wrap anything and get 30 boys shut off next turn when there was something that they could easily like try point a single model and go, okay, now you got 30 boys that you can't shoot next turn. So
Yeah, okay.
And it's not even essentially you need like a melee unit to charge anything either. Like you just have like a 5-man unit of intercessors. If you can tag a Lehman Rust tank, that thing's not shooting next turn.
yeah. So
Next one is a humble bundle exercise. So for those who want to get into the novels of 40k, especially if you want to get into Fabius Bile, he's got his novel. I think that was the first in the series. There's For the Emperor. So if you're like me, that's one of my first books of 40k was Caiaphas Cain. I enjoy that series. You got Yarrick. Then if you
you
want
got
to buy
Space Wolf as well.
Ah, bro, there you go. Tier
yeah.
2's the one that you want.
the two. Oh,
Soul
okay, which
Hunter.
one?
That Aaron Dembski Bowden Nighthaunt series is the best.
Okay.
Night Lords.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah,
so
man.
that one there.
And
Okay,
Salamander's good too.
I've read the Araman Exile. That's not a bad story either. So,
Yeah.
and then of course, if you want to get into Eisenhorn, Venus, that's meant to be a very good book as well.
It's got Eisenhorn and Ravenor, so yeah, there's your gateway drugs.
Yep.
It's probably Graham McNeil's best book there, Storm of Iron. That's old school, but it's amazing.
Yeah, that would be. Oh, that's been out for a long time. Storm of
Third
Iron.
edition. It was with the Eye of Terror campaign. That's about
90s.
Honsu.
Yeah.
That's going back a while these days.
Yeah, it's got the Dice Array in it out of the Heresy series.
Okay.
Like that Titan,
Oh yeah. And of course you got I Am Slaughter. So if you want to stories about after the Horus Heresy, so the Beast Arises.
Talon of Horus is pretty good too.
Oh yeah. I haven't read that one.
From what I've heard, Farsight's pretty good too. So apparently, just a really good selection of books.
Yeah, still Nightbringer. Pretty sure that's leading up to the Ural Ventress trilogy, I believe.
Yeah.
And then if you want your sisters, you got Faith and Fire, Jane Swallow. I haven't read this, but I've read Jane Swallow's Garrow's series, so the Horus Heresy.
Yeah, I've read Faith and Fire. It's interesting. It's old school.
So if you want to get some books on the cheap and also do a good cause, worth going on. And then, of course, role models. If you're not reading this comic, where have you been? I enjoy the series.
I will say that I kind of lapsed once season 2 started, but I did enjoy what I read. So
yeah, I'm always reading. It's a series 4 already, so that's how popular it is.
Wow.
Yep. And then, if you can't play with your friends, they're doing missions or campaign missions on solo Warhammer.
Solo Warhammer.
Yep. If you've got no one to play with, you can play by yourself.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but my wife is not interested in Warhammer, so.
No, I live in a house where it's not Warhammer friendly, so.
Yeah.
So what is it, like a dungeon crawler sort of game? Is it like you move through your own?
Yeah. So you put together. What is it? Yeah. So they've done the Troggoth Slayer campaign.
Okay.
Challenge you to defeat Troggoth King. I didn't look at that one. And then this one's where you control a band of heroes going into a dungeon crawl in the catacombs.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I reckon even if once the coronavirus is finished and all that, you could even probably do this, with some bunch of mates too. You each play a hero and you do it.
I wonder if this is kind of like a test bed of you know, maybe future plans like going into the old
Warhammer Quest.
yeah, like Warhammer Quest, but I was thinking the choose your own adventure paperback novels. Like Warlock of Mount Doom or Mount Fire, whatever it was, and
Yeah.
that series.
Yeah, well, I know that the 40k D&D styles is on pre-order, and that's by Cubicle 7.
Wrath and Glory.
Yes.
Is that an update to it? Because I bought the rulebook ages ago,
So this is
like
essentially
last year.
Yeah, well, this is because the current version of it's no longer being done by the same mob.
Right.
Yeah, so
So might be some few updates and they're reselling it. Okay.
yeah. I know that they've done the Warhammer Fantasy one where they've supported the previous editions, so all their expansions are supported. So I don't know about the 40k one, and they're also doing the Age of Sigmar one. So
They seem to jump publishers for the role-playing stuff quite often. Like, this is what their third one for it now. They had Fantasy Flight, and then whoever they went through for this lot, and now they've jumped again. So
I know this is so Fantasy Flight, and now this is the new mob, the Cube.
okay.
Yeah, I think Fantasy Flight was one they did the most with. That was with Dark Heresy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Dark Heresy.
Heresy, yeah.
Only War, Death Watch, Black Crusade. Rogue Trader. Yeah, so 5 just there.
Man, I remember the original Warhammer roleplay. That was some pretty dark stuff, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you wanted rated R sort of Warhammer, that's where you went. Like, it was pretty full on.
Yeah, I got the whole series when Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
Full set.
Yeah.
And I've gone through some of the PDFs, and some of them are like, well, this is dark.
Yeah, especially the Dark Elf stuff, man. Holy hell. Like, old school Marathi.
Yeah, the Skaven stuff is very twisted.
Like, the Dark Elf stuff goes into the relationship between Marathi and Malekith, like mother and son, incest stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, when it was rated R, before it became PG.
Before they tried to sell more models.
Yeah. I mean, I got some of the 3.5 D&D stuff. It's pretty full on, but yeah, it didn't compare to that stuff, eh?
All right, so what have you guys been doing for the past week? What models? Let's show them up. Have you got any?
Oh, is it okay if it's not Warhammer?
Yes, it's alright.
Okay. I was showing them off backstage. I've been painting giant enemy. Well, they're not crabs, lobsters, I guess. So.
Was that for
that's for the other side, which is the 40k size, so battle size for Malifaux, which is 1900s alternative history with magic and steampunk and all that. So,
cool.
Rah.
Sounds pretty intense.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you're painting, it's, you're battling against that grey and keeping your sanity, so...
Adam? Yeah, I've done a fair bit. Like, I showed my Terminator earlier, but started working a bit of Seraphon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Space dinosaurs. Fuck you.
Yeah. I've always been a bit of a 40k player, but some friends dragged me into AOS, and Space Lizards seem cool.
Cool.
How many big dinosaurs do you have so far?
2.
Oh, that doesn't seem enough.
No, it's definitely not.
You need at least 4 or 5. And what about yourself, Rick?
Behind me, it's sort of up on the shelf, but I've been building some gits lately. So I put together a Mangler Squig, all the spells. Dave Kerr actually gave me his old Git army, so I'm going to give them a run next tournament season.
Yep.
But I've been just working on, well, you can't really see it, but a Slanesh commission that I've been slugging my way through.
Cool.
It's pretty much the whole range, and yeah, he dropped it to me in this giant box, and it was all unbuilt, and
Yeah.
it's been a labour of love. So
Oh,
yeah,
hey, keeping you busy, that's the main thing, eh?
yeah, that's it. So
Yeah, well, I've got 2 boxes, you know, the Battle Start box sets they released at Christmas time of Gits.
yeah,
Got to build up. So.
actually, I got one thing. I'll just grab it.
Yep, no, that's cool, mate. While you're doing that, I'll just share what I've been doing because since I can't really do it with my camera, but I can. So this is what I posted on Twitter. So this is Shadespire I've been doing up. That's Steelheart. So probably taking me 2 weeks to get him done. So I'm happy he's done there. I mean, when you got 2 kids under, well, you got a 3.5-year-old and a 8-month-old, you don't get much time to do a lot of painting. So
No.
but that's my achievement. I got it done. So
Are you playing much of the Beast Grave?
I've got 2 of the sets. So I've got the Goblin Wolf Riders, which the story there is the reason why they were my first Beast Grave army is they were my first models I ever collected from Warhammer in fantasy days. Was the Wolf Riders, so that's why when I saw them, I'm like, I've got to have them. I don't care about anything else. I've got to have that.
Man, I hold out hope that they do get mob again. Hey,
Oh yeah, yeah.
a whole army of Wolf Riders would be sick.
Yeah, you got to do something.
So,
fancy. All right,
but I did paint one model that wasn't. It's not 40k.
Oh, that's all
But
right.
or GW, but it was a 3D print that I bought for $5 when I was down at one of the gaming conventions.
Yep.
And it was actually
Oh,
a Vegeta.
Oh, nice.
So it's the last thing I painted for myself. But I just needed something to break up the Slanesh purple. And it's amazing how detailed that sculpt was once you started putting paint on it. So you sort of can't see with 3D prints until the paint goes on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love Vegeta. So
Cool. Oh, good work.
Best Dragon Ball character.
yeah, man.
Easily.
All right. Well, now we're done what we've been doing for the past week or so. We'll get on to the main event, eh? Right. Warhammer previews number 3. Revenge of the previews. All right. So first one is Giants. Now we got these at preview 2, and now we've got a final look at them. What are you guys' opinion?
They're big. They're very big.
They are, yeah. They're giants. Like,
Oh yeah.
Just seeing like one of the original model is still below the new Giant's shoulder. It's just these things are going to be crazy big.
Yeah, so that's the current one. Oh, that's the current Gargants, and then these are the mega Gargants.
yeah, so about double the size. So about
up
like
to the
knight
big.
size or a little bit bigger. You know.
Yeah. Like I said, we haven't had any rules preview, so we don't know how these guys are really going to work.
Look, if knights are to anything to go by, these things are gonna sell like hotcakes. So be ready for your pre-orders once they come out. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want all 3.
I think they're
So-
going
Oh, I just noticed that one right there. Is that a corn icon on his
Yes, that's a corn icon.
crotch?
Anyone
Yep.
can use them, man.
Yeah.
Any what is
Grand
it? Order?
Alliance.
Grand Alliance, yeah, anyone can use them.
Yeah.
Is it just like a one, or can you take them as a whole army?
I think you
Well-
take them as an ally choice.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I-
500 points and yeah, all that.
I have a feeling these will probably be similar to how Gortrek works with the order. Is you probably if you're taking these mega ones, you can only have one. and that's it.
Yeah.
So if they say 550, that's all you're having. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be that expensive.
No, well, I'm just pulling a number out of my.
Yeah, I reckon they're probably about 450, 480 points wise.
Yeah.
So what's your cap for allies?
400.
400. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they're 400 points each. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Well, they'll either be 400 points or they'll have that rule where they're like, all right, you can only have one. That's it.
Yeah. Man, like, they're thick boys, eh? Look at those legs. Like they're all rugby prop players.
Mm-hmm.
They got the dad gut.
Yeah. I think they're
Still solid.
A one kit only too. So you're gonna have lots of spears to play with.
Yeah,
Do you think that's
I
one
did.
kit?
One of my roommates was saying that it's only a single kit, and if it's only one kit, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
So
options
many-
in there.
So many bits for conversions or adding to bases or stuff like that. Like,
Because if you look at the legs, like, aren't all three of them different poses? Oh, no, that one's similar.
Yeah, that one's
those two are pretty similar.
Yeah, I think they're all.
Yeah, they're all similar
same.
legs. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What I think will be interesting is how they're going to attach the legs to the body. Like, how hard is it going to be to magnetize them to easily be able to transport them like down to Brisbane or something like that?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of an issue.
Because, like, at least with a knight, you know, they're kind of attached at the waist, and you don't even really have to magnetize. You can just lift them up. So,
I think the way you'd have to go about it is probably magnetize the feet at the joints and magnetize the hands so they'd come off, and then like fully break it down for transport.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a big model. Like those
Cool.
giants are still like the normal giants are that tall.
Yeah, the normal giants are probably a little bit shorter than an armature, so yeah, they're definitely going to be like knight-size-esque models. So lugging 3 or 4 of them plus a couple of small giants around to a tournament is going to be a lot of room.
Ooh, yeah. I like the gate breaker. I think that's my favourite. I think it's just because the mask is what does it for me.
Look, I'm waiting for the inevitable Attack on Titan paint jobs to come up for all these.
Oh,
I think that's going to be sick.
yeah.
Well, where is it? There's a giant there, like, so, you know, be fair size.
Mm.
But speaking of Attack on Titan, the artwork of the teaser was very like Attack on Titan sort of feel to it. But yeah, man, I can't wait. It's going to be interesting to see how it works as a standalone book.
Oh, yeah.
Like how viable it's going to be. I mean, everything can die to anything in AOS. So it makes me wonder how they're going to keep these big fellas alive.
Mm.
Like maybe they heal when they kill things in combat. I don't know. Are any of those spellcasters or priests?
Probably not.
We don't know anything about it. That's the problem.
I could see a priest maybe, but
I could see the fish dude being like a shaman or something.
So the Kraken character, I think he would be likely your priest style. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we don't know. They could give buffs to smaller units. Who knows?
Well, what's going to be interesting? Because Archon's got 20 wounds, Glocken's got 18, so I don't expect them to go above. Like, I don't expect them to have more wounds than Archon. So it's going to be interesting to see how they make an army of 3 or 4 20 wound models actually function.
I reckon they'll have the same amount of wounds as a knight. What's a knight have? 24?
24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little dudes have 10, like, because I run a few of them in my ogres.
Yep.
10? 10. Yeah, 10. So,
You probably
the little
get
dudes.
a bit of a point buff change too and all that.
Well, those guys are only 160 points, the small ones. 160 or 160? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, the only thing I've heard about them is, well, when it comes to objectives, they can apparently kick them around the board. So whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, that they can do stuff with your objectives.
No,
So
like I said, it's going to be interesting.
So when are we modeling a soccer ball onto the base of one of these then?
yeah, be interesting if they can just pick them up and carry the objective with them.
Oh yeah, that'll be a
Ah.
neat trick. Yeah, so hopefully we'll hear more about these guys down the line.
Well, haven't they still got one more preview to do? So
No,
Yep, one more.
no.
no,
I thought they were doing 4.
So this is the last preview of this month. So it's down at the bottom. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
when we get down there. They make a mention.
Fair
of it.
enough.
Alright, so Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, the last adventure. So can't unfortunately do this audio just because of copyright and all that. So we're getting big droids.
Aren't they called spindle drones?
Yeah, spindle.
Yeah,
droids.
the little ones are spindle drones. I think the big ones are guardians or something. I don't know.
you
They
got
look
them-
sick.
Yeah.
I
Very
would
wonderful worlds.
I would totally have an entire army of them if I could, because they look awesome. But
I know someone that has.
wow,
You know, Blake Kerwick that
Yep. I know.
that does all of the mad stuff for CanCon.
Yep.
Like all the heavily converted lizardmen armies and things like that.
Yes.
He's building a full army of those dudes.
wow,
Yeah, I just
they're
wanted to-
really nice models. I liked the small ones when I initially saw them, but these look even better.
Yeah.
So
And they'll be a lot
Yep.
bigger.
Well, I've got the Blackstone Fortress set here, and we've played a game of it. Not a bad game.
Well,
Oh,
I reckon they would probably be about. Okay, they're only on 40,
40s
maybe
probably.
40s. Okay, so they're
40s or
probably
32s.
about Dreadnought size, maybe a little bit taller. Maybe Wraith Lord size. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because they stand a little bit straighter. But what I find interesting is that they're actually finishing Blackstone Fortress. I thought they would keep it running as a way to put out, like random models that they want to sell but don't really fit anywhere, like the Zotes and the Ambles and stuff like that. So
Yeah, well, this is actually the first time in the Warhammer Quest line where they've actually sort of finished the adventure. I mean, I know in Silver Tower you finished the adventure, but Hammerhell sort of was, all right, we just sort of slice it because it's not popular. There's no, but they weren't supporting it either. Well,
Yeah.
Blackstone, they've been supporting it quite well. So, but I wonder if they're getting sort of throwing things out there, seeing what's sticking, what people are enjoying. Whether they're going, all right, well, we can do another Warhammer Quest, and we've seen what people like, what they don't like, or maybe this is leading to a new faction, 40k, maybe.
maybe.
Yeah. So.
Look, all I can say is what they've done with Blackstone Fortress and throwing in like the interesting random models that are like Rogue Trader-esque that people have wanted back for ages and didn't really fit anywhere in 40k or that. They struck a really good point with that where Shadespire and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, it's different characters. Okay.
It'd be interesting if, say, they do a 40k faction. You remember that robot that was released with the original set?
Oh, the
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. What if he's leading into the new army, and these spindle drones are going to be part of it?
Man of Iron army.
Yeah, Man of Iron. Yeah.
I don't know if that'll happen. Like, I would think like a spindle drone because like the spindle drones like on the Blackstone Fortress, so they're
Yeah,
like old
yeah.
one constructs.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It'd be interesting if they go down an R1 route and there's more of these dudes.
Because like that would be cool. Like,
Yeah.
But you could also mix the Men of Iron with the Blackstone technology too, and sort of build around it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The possibilities are huge. They can do whatever they can with it.
Let's put it this way. This one's probably going to sell like hotcakes because I've seen nothing but praise over the Guardian drone models. So Games Workshop, knowing where the money is going to go, is probably, hey, we could probably do something with this. So
That's it.
I haven't played Blackstone Fortress, so it looks cool. I like all the Rogue Trader stuff and
Yeah.
the models that have come
yeah,
out.
I haven't played it either, but I've heard that it is a decent game.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
But just to like all the unique models and that have come out is being definitely the selling point of the set.
Yeah, well, I've played it with some of the other boys here, and the thing is, you don't have to play that one character throughout the whole quest either. So you do your map, so whatever you do for that segment, and then he can go into a chamber, pretty much go into cryo freeze, and then you can pick a new character.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that's the flexibility they have there. And with the release of the character expansion they did, must be 9-12 months ago, there was another 4 or 5 characters in that.
Yeah.
So there's at least 10 characters you can play. Yeah, so.
Video game adaptation when?
Elves at the 8 points. I think a few people are excited for this.
Yeah, man. This excited me.
Yeah.
Definitely the roommate. He's like, well, I guess I'm playing Warcry now.
Yeah. So I thought
The cool thing about this video was sorry.
No, so you go with.
The best thing about this video is the voice acting. I love the voice acting that they do for a lot of their AOS. I mean, their 40k stuff too, but it seems to be more like the Warcry stuff that they get real like theatrical. So
yeah.
The Marathi release was sick too, and like this reminded me of it.
Yeah, well, this model here, I originally thought it was a Medusa, but it's actually his cape that's all slung around him. With weapons on the end of it.
Such a sick model. There's my Dark Elder Archon.
Now that you've said it, I really want to do that.
Did you watch the actual release, like where they were talking about it?
No.
Yeah, I did. They were saying that this character, or these guys, are related to the Mistweaver that's in the Silver Tower series.
I was just going to talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, like it's the same race.
Yep.
They're the leftovers of the Dark Elves, basically.
Yeah. And it probably also has the Shard character as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, because when I saw that mask, I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen that mask somewhere before, and I had to think about it, and then I'm like, Silver Tower.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of the old Witch Queens. It's interesting they're only showing 3 of the 12 models, though. Yeah. Makes me wonder what the others are going to look like.
Yeah.
So is it a new warband, or is it like an add-on like the Chimera?
No, it's a new warband.
Okay.
Well, for like the other warbands, right, wasn't there like 3 or 4 fairly unique ones, and then the rest were kind of just copies, more or less?
So there was 8 Chaos unique warbands. So each from the realms, except for Heavens.
Yeah, but I'm talking like the warband itself, right? Because like for the Crow guys, for example, there's the guy with the wings, and then you got like 2 guys on stilts, and then you got another 2 doing something, and then the rest of it all just kind of generic afterwards.
Yeah. You see, these ones look a bit more unique. Yeah, I agree. And then you got, I guess, a daughter of Cain here that's also not in. You got her silhouette, so you don't actually see her model.
Yeah, like it might just be daughters for like the rest of the core of the warband.
So you got your demon hunter from Diablo here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the alternative model because in the video he had
Yeah. he
magic
had-
in one hand, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a dagger or short sword in the other. And then you got her where she's got looks like a single blade, while before she had a glaive.
You look like a spear, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then that's similar to the other one. So, oh, it's going to be interesting. And the good thing is, this could be, say, Warcry second box set as well. So this might be a new starter box set, possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't see him bundling in the rule book, but I could see like a half-sized one.
Yeah.
Because that
Like
the Warcry one was $300, wasn't it?
Something like 310 or something. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
expensive, but there was so much terrain in that though,
Yeah.
and it was good quality as well. Yeah, 'cause I'm still
did
building
like
it.
has like they're obviously still supporting it, so I'm assuming it's making money. But like, did it ever take off? Because it didn't. Like, I saw a lot of people buying it here, especially the train, because the train, like outside of the starter box, was really good quality and cheap for the amount that you got. But it never really took off here. So like,
Yeah.
I wonder.
Like we all
I
bought
wonder.
it, Rocky, but no one really played it. Like Connor and
Yeah.
that had a few games, but it never really took off. But we all bought it for the terrain, man, because the terrain
Yeah.
bundles were so good. It's kind of
Yeah,
like the Kill Team
exactly.
bundles.
I think
Yeah, I
that's,
feel like it's a little different because here in Mackay, like in our local gaming group, like we've got at least like 15 plus people that went out and all bought it, and they're still buying it. And yeah, we run events on weekends and stuff like that, and yeah, there's tons and tons of people playing it. It's insane, actually.
For Warcry,
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Warcry.
really?
yeah.
Is it like that with other games like Necromunda?
Necromunda not so much. It's mainly is Warcry, some 40k, a little bit, and then mainly Age of Sigmar.
Yes,
Oh,
sick.
nice.
In Mackay.
Yeah,
What? It's
yeah,
amazing.
believe it or not.
I think the other struggle, I mean, things like Mackay's doing well, but for here in CQ, we don't have that tournaments. You know, they do like in the capital cities where they go, all right, well, here's a tournament pack for Warcry at the GWs. They'll run it.
Mm.
I think
You
we
mean like
recommend-
leagues?
Yeah, the leagues and all that. I think
Yeah.
that's what we need to say. Talk to our, Rob or something, see whether or not we can do something.
I think Rob's planning on doing stuff like that. I mean, he's got a Warcry one here. It's sitting in my house, but just over in the corner.
Yeah.
But we're planning on doing it, and then the COVID stuff happened, and
Yeah.
you know, c'est la vie.
No, I mean that's been this year, hasn't it? We were planning on doing stuff, and then
Yeah.
pandemic.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I
just
can't
because-
believe that the unis are shut down for the rest of the year, man. That's
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
because I was going to run the Underworlds, the Beastgrave Underworld
Yes.
tournament, and yeah, that's happened. So,
I almost went and bought on Beastgrave just for it.
you still can if you got it in stock.
Yeah, Rob's got a few copies, so I might go grab one.
Yeah. Hey, at least you'll have it all painted up by the time it happens. So.
Yeah. Can you still use the old stuff?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So
sick.
at this stage, the cards, some cards you can't mix with other cards.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a
They found out
website that lists
there's-
the cards you
yeah,
can't
there's-
use.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they found out that if you put it with this card and that card and this card, it's just okay. You win the game essentially.
Yeah. Gets pretty pants, eh?
All right, next one. All light cast as a shadow.
Mhm.
So she was mentioned in the previous preview. There was actually a picture of her in the background. I don't actually really like this model that much. I'll be honest.
There's one thing I like about this model,
What's that?
and that's the veil. The rest
Oh,
of it
yeah.
is whatever. I don't care. It's
You know
crappy
what it
high
reminds-
elves.
Yeah, you
Look,
know what
I-
it reminds me. Yeah, it reminds me of the unique OBR model from the the box set.
Oh,
Beast of
yeah, the
Bones.
special character. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Bones Sierra or whatever it was, the Bone Singer.
Yeah.
The OBR model?
Yeah. The one that's in the coffin.
Oh, the
Ah,
special
yeah.
character. He's got the coffin
Yeah.
on his back. Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I thought of this model when I first saw it was she has hobbit toes. Like those toes are massive.
Yeah.
It looks like a
I
hippie
ju- I
girl has
just-
been caught in the rain, man. Like the dress is all stuck to her. It just looks weird.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hobbit toes, and I've just never been a goody aesthetic person, so
the
the new
smoke's
Hale's
blowing
not
one
doing much for
way.
me.
Yeah.
The hair's blowing one way. The veil's going another way. The tabards are going another way. We've got another Lamounties on our hands, man. The wind direction's all over the place.
One would have thought that they would have gotten over that after Lamartes.
Yeah, I just don't like, even at her waist here, you got these horns with the. Yeah, I really want to just cut them off.
Needs more cowbell, man. It's all
Might
about the
actually
cows.
improve the model.
It's all about the cows.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they do have the big mountain tallers, so yeah.
Did you see that article they're talking about the realm of Hashish, and it's a chaos star?
Nice.
It's an 8-pointed star. I'm just like, they don't know it, but they've been invaded.
It's going to be a terrible model to paint, though. It's going to have to be, like, you're going to have to be on your game to do that face.
Yeah.
Because it's mixed in with the veil. Like, it's just...
I just take one look at this and go, I don't want to even touch it. And there's some models there I go, I don't like this, but I'm going to give it a go. This one, I just take one look and go, don't even buy it. Don't want to even know about it. I'd rather paint Techless.
Man, something awesome's next. There's more exciting stuff just underneath this, man.
Yeah. Blood Bowl. I'm very
Dude.
Look, I just want a league that is only halflings and snotlings.
Finally, my halflings have someone they can bash.
This is where you have to have just a tournament of the 3 smaller races: goblins, halflings, and snotlings.
Yeah.
Well, because we got that treeman, remember? And I was like,
Yeah.
why did we get a halfling treeman? And now I know.
Snotling, pump wagon. Yeah.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
don't get destroyed by the pump wagon.
Yeah. I like how crazy they are. They like the one dude with the sock on his head. They've really hit it out of the park with their Blood Bowl rebirth. Like, it's an amazing range. Like, and I hated Blood Bowl, man. Like, I just thought it was one of those old school crappy games. And then someone gave it to me on the Xbox,
Oh, yeah.
and I played it, and they're like, "Oh, the board game's exactly the same." And I got into the miniatures. Then I was like, "Yeah, this is sick." So,
It is a fun game to play. Yeah. So, a few different. And if they continue to do, sometimes these balls have a unique rule as well. So,
yeah, they're fungus flingers, aren't they? Isn't that what they are?
Yeah. You got one on stilts to make himself bigger. Then the Snotling pump wagon. I just love he's got this pan here. He's like, I'm going to whack someone with it.
Yeah, it's pretty beat up though. Hey, look at it.
Yeah, it's been through a food. Yeah.
Quick, now just go back about 10 years on Fantasy and buy a whole heap of this kit so you can actually play your Snotling army from your Greenskin book.
I remember it was. Oh, you were down at that last BrizCon. So we went to Sean,
Yeah.
and there was the Snotling pump wagon army.
Yeah.
It was 24
Oh
pump
my.
wagons.
Yeah, 24. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick, who's a dentist down south, built it.
And he didn't get last either, did he?
No, he didn't. That means he won. He won with that pump army.
Yeah, I think he won 2 games. I think.
Don't know.
I'm insulted by this. You can take more pump wagons than doom wheels.
You can't anymore, man. They've been taken
No.
out of the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He just got it finished. I think it was like 2 months after that event, they released the new General's Handbook and it was gone.
No.
And I like what I've got here. We'll level with you. You're probably not going to win all your games, but you're going to have so much fun.
Yeah.
And it is a yes.
Look, can you eat the mushrooms? Can you throw mushrooms at
Oh.
people? I'm cool with this.
Well, he's dressed as a wizard. I wonder if he can like do like spells and stuff.
Well,
That'd be cool.
I know there was a later expansion that they did have wizards on the battlefield. Was the original Blood Bowl, so who knows? Maybe they're setting up for it.
Maybe it's something unique to them that sort of levels the field for them a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. So, yeah. All right, Horus Heresy.
This model is so good.
Yeah, I love it.
Now, do anyone know the history of this bloke?
Is that Saul Tavitz?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Saul Tavitz is a champ.
Mhm.
Yeah, so if you know the original Garrow book as well, he's mentioned in the Flight of the Eisenstein.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of the main characters in the first 4 books.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah,
those
he's
that
one of the
don't know,
one of the bros with
he's
Loken.
the Emperor's children.
Yeah.
And he refused to join the Horus, and he
killed
actually.
Lucius originally?
I think he was the first. I'm not sure.
Was he the first to kill Lucius?
Possibly. But I know he was the one that essentially gave the Imperium time to build up the defenses.
Yeah.
Because Horus was essentially expecting Istan 3 was going to be over and done with in a heartbeat, and he pretty much said, nah, stuff that, and he made a drawn-out siege.
Yeah, he
like that.
rallied him and Loken rallied the loyalists.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
Tarek
and-
Torgadon as well.
Oh, that's
Oh man, I wonder if we'll see a Torgadon model.
That'd be neat.
That'd be sick. Does he come back later? I've sort of stopped after Unremembered Empire. Does he
No.
come back at all in like the Knights books?
I think, no, he dies on the battlefield.
So he doesn't survive with Loken or anyone?
Loki
he-
survives.
He dies in book 3.
He
So
does,
Loken-
okay.
Yeah, Loki survives and becomes part of the Grey Knights under Garrow.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
whatever they're
He-
called.
Yeah.
Knight Errants.
Yeah, Knight Errants. Essentially, the pre-birth of Grey Knights. But
'Cause Where I'm up to
Lo-
with them is Tylus Rubio's in it. Tylus?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's the Ultramarine, Bloodbearing. You got Loken. He went feral on the planet. He thought himself as essentially a space wolf.
Mhm.
He's just killing people with his sword and all that until Garrow essentially wakes him up. And he's what is he? He's a lunar wolf. That's it. He's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
a
he's
Sons of Horus. He's a lunar wolf.
yeah. He repainted his armor or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been a long time coming for this model.
Yeah.
It's like he was in the original book, wasn't he?
I
he's
think
mentioned
maybe
in it.
book 2.
Yeah.
He might be mentioned in book 1, but he's introduced book 2, I believe. Yeah.
Because we got Idillion. Is it Idillion? Is that how you say his name?
It's
The-
like Eidolon.
Eidolon? Idillion? Yeah, that guy. But we never got this guy. We can never figure it out.
I know he's definitely in book 4 because when they board the Eisenstein, he's with the boarding party of the Emperor's children, where they have a big conference with Horus and all that, with all the Primarchs, and that's where Garrow and him are blood brothers.
Oh, yeah, no, I was talking about... Yeah, well, they were all part of the lodges and stuff, weren't they?
No, Garrow and him refused to be part of the lodges.
Yeah,
because
that's
they-
been ages. That's
They
Wasn't it?
fought-
10 years ago, man.
Yeah, well, they fought on a battlefield together and essentially made themselves blood brothers. and they would be there for it. So Saul was actually the one that warned Garrow.
Yeah.
He was on the battlefield and he saw what's happening.
I just want to say that paint job is crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That purple is really smooth, and the gold is nice. Like it's like you see some Empress Children models, and they look sickly.
yeah.
But that's smooth. It's really nice.
I almost feel like getting this model, even though I'm not a 30k player. It's like, you just look at it and go, I really want this model.
And it's a little marine, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, yeah. So I've given you guys a bit of a back history of them too, with the Garrow. So for those that didn't know.
do you think that they will? What's going to happen with Marines, man? Like, do you think Heresy will be kept around just for the old school scale, or?
Yeah, I think people have invested too much money into Horus Heresy now for them to
Get rid of it,
feasibly get rid of it. If the question then becomes, does Horus Heresy stay essentially a 7th ed hybrid while 8th and potentially 9th and that continues on? Well, that's the question there, but
See, that's the reason I stopped playing it, because I didn't want to have
two rule
two
sets in
rule
your head.
sets. Yeah.
And also too, like, while a lot of the issue with 7th was like the power creep of the codexes, there was some fundamental rules issues as well, which I don't know if they got resolved in Horus Heresy, because I know it's not a straight 1-to-1. There's like some changes, but it's
Yeah.
pretty much still 7th.
Didn't fix
So-
custodes. I know that custodes still ruin everyone in that game. So
Yeah.
pariah.
Yeah. Prior.
This
Exciting
is sick.
stuff.
Yeah.
So,
If you're a Necron player, you're going to be excited.
Mm-hmm.
for-
Uh,
yeah. So not a bad trailer actually.
Yeah, I love that 40k cinematics.
It reminds me of the Terminator first off.
Yeah.
Shocking. I wonder why they use that.
I wonder.
Yeah. And then you got the warp gates opening. I don't know what the Necron's term for the gates are.
Gates of Eternity.
Is that what they are? Okay.
Yeah, that's what that
Yeah.
old school one was, wasn't it? Yeah.
There's the new Crytek.
Oh, it's Illuminator. He's a named character.
Yeah. Old
Yeah,
spider
he's-
legs.
He's been named for a while, but he's never had a model, has he?
No, he's had a model.
No, he had an old school model.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, well, not old
It-
school. I think it was like 5th ed.
Yeah,
Right.
because that's when Necrons were 3rd, 5th, and just kind of got books from there.
Yep.
Kind of like Dark Eldar, where they were 3rd and 5th, and yeah, just been around since then.
That's sick. It's the first time I've ever seen a Xenos Inquisitor.
That's really cool.
So that's the new
Look,
Crytek. He's
the-
massive.
Yeah.
I like how they
He's-
show a flare in action.
Mm-hmm. That guy's
Oh,
not
yeah.
having a good time.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm thinking this must be what is the Psyker? Is it-
Looks
Maybe.
like a tech adapt or something.
Yeah. Or an archaeologist or something who hit the wrong tomb button.
maybe. I just like how even the laser, here you can see the light where the paint done a paint job, like the light
Yeah.
reflect.
Yeah, they're really stepping it up a notch with these characters. That's sick.
He looks like he's on a pretty large base too, like a 60 mil base or so.
I
So
wonder if
go back,
he's gonna
Sean.
Yep.
Keep going back. Next one. Is he collecting the skin?
he's collecting the blood and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He's harvesting.
Because with the fifth Ed Codex lore, Illuminator was the one who made the first fries.
Okay.
Right.
And what are they? Are they hybrids? Are they? Or?
They're essentially human nulls, so
Like your
no, it's Sisters of Silence basically, that have been augmented to be half human, half Necron.
Man, wouldn't that be cool if they brought out new Pariah models from Necron?
I mean, the book's literally called Pariah. I think they will have a riot on their hands if they don't bring out new Pariahs. So
Yeah. You think the name would probably explain everything?
the name, the choice of character to update, like
Yeah.
And then he's got his. What is he? So if you take a psychic test, an enemy psychic within 9 of him, suffers pearls of the warp on any dice roll that include a double.
Oh, there's your Pariah, mate.
yeah, it's not that good though. Like 9 inches, like if that rule was in Sigma, that would be great. But it's
It
in
used to be
40k.
table wide with the old prize, wasn't it?
No, it was just a normal deny though, so it was like 18 inches or so, not 9.
I feel like it needs to be 18 or something, actually.
You can just walk out of it. Like most powers are 18 inches, so there's no reason to be near this character.
Yeah.
And the character itself, currently rule wise, is a buffer. It gives D3. It's like +1 strength, +1 toughness, or
Ballistic skill.
+1 attack. Oh, sorry, +1 ballistic skill, strength, and attack, or something on a D3 roll to a unit for the rest of the game. So it's a buffing unit that doesn't really want to be up the front. So
Okay. Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
model, bro. Next one excites me. That's sick.
You could put this into a Age of Sigma almost.
that's the first thing I thought when I saw it. It's like, wow, why is the power armor like Sigmarine armor?
But she's wearing like Dark Eldar armor that's been changed into power
Yeah.
armor.
It is
Like
Dark Elf.
this is a Xenos Inquisitor. Like we've never seen a Xenos Inquisitor model before. We've seen Malleus and Heretics. This is the
Oh,
first one
well,
we've seen that's actually
Eisenhorn's
dedicated.
an Auto Xenos.
Oh yes, yep. Yeah.
No, isn't he Malleus? Is he
No,
Malleus?
he's Auto
No,
Xenos.
Xenos.
He's Eisenhorn and Ravnar are Auto Xenos, but their books are always about Malleus stuff.
Yeah, but she's like using, like a shuriken pistol, and
Yeah.
maybe she's even got an Exodite dinosaur on her arm there. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Give us some Eldar.
Nah, it's just gonna be the new bird model in Codex Crude, okay?
But yeah, that definitely looks like Witch Elf legs and stuff. Like, the armor plates off of Witch Elf models.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, sorry, not Witch Elves. What are they called? Witches? Witches. Yeah.
Witches.
Man,
And
it's
then
been so long.
You got the purity seal on her gun as well.
Yeah, that's sanctioned.
Need to pray the Xenos away.
Does it show a backpack at all?
Yeah. It's very old school.
Yeah, I like that power fist too. It's old school.
The fist is nice. The dragon's nice. The rest of the model I could take or leave.
It'd be good if there's a helmeted option for her.
I was
Yeah.
just thinking that actually.
I don't think there
Maybe-
will be.
She doesn't look very big though, does she?
No, because she's still human size.
Human.
So
Like
Yeah.
Greyfax size.
Yeah, no, that's a sick model, great.
she'll just be chunkier than Greyfax.
So I remember seeing the memes where they remove her head and put what's her name? The Dragon Queen from Game of Thrones, Targaryen. They put her head on.
See, man,
Yeah.
yes.
So is she the third character that goes with the Sister of Battle and the Harlequin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sweet.
It's going to be interesting whether or not they do a box set similar to
Like
Triumvirate.
yeah. Well, that or like Blood of the Phoenix and the.
I suspect that there'll be a box set like Blood of the Phoenix because Pariah's still 3 Psychic Awakenings away because we got the
Yeah.
Mechanicus one next, and then after that we have War of the Spider, and then we have Pariah. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was another box because we had Blood of the Phoenix first up with the box, and then we had 3 before we had Prophecy of the Wolf, which was a box, so
And
that
we
makes
also got
sense.
those new characters in the which one, the Dark Angel one. It's the Thousand
Yeah.
Suns.
Yeah. But they were just characters. Like they've
Yeah.
been putting out characters with all of them.
Yeah.
So,
But they were just
but like when you've got 4 new characters essentially straight up, like that's and potentially touching wood here, a new Pariah kit. That's grounds for a box set in my mind.
Yeah, they could definitely be like Blood of the Phoenix, where it was like Janezar, Drazar, the Howling Banshees, and the Incubi. There could be, Luminor plus the Pariahs and the Imperium characters with the new Imperium unit.
And maybe a new sister model, or what I would actually love would be a acolyte model for the Inquisitors, so you could use it to make like a generic Inquisitor or make acolytes with them. That'd be super cool. But that's a pipe dream. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, and then we've got Warhammer Storyforge. So, for those that don't know, they're doing their animated series. So the first season's all going to be 40k. So this is episode 2, so it's all Sisters of Battle.
Oh, so is this another like is this similar to the animated Blood Angel stuff, the CGI stuff, but it's just animated instead?
Yeah, it's a different take.
That's cool.
Different art.
It's gonna be cool.
So the rumor is if this does well, season 1, season 2 could possibly have Age of Sigma related stories.
Look, I think this will do well. I'm pretty sure the kids books that they put out a while ago did pretty well. So, with this being more cartoony, you might find animated, you might find that they turn down the gore in that, especially because the sisters, they can just do a lot of flamers in that and target it more at kids, maybe.
Their other weapon of choice is eviscerators, though, too. So
well,
this gore right up.
Well, that's true, but
is this meant to be like that Love, Sex and Robots or whatever it is that was on Netflix?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Love, Death, Robots.
Yeah. Taking that
style, I would sit there and watch. I would pay to see that. Yes, give me more.
Man, I finally watched that Astartes series on YouTube.
Oh, how good is it?
Give that man a job. Give him a job. That was amazing.
And Astartes does it so well because it's not just the animation; it's also the filmography, it's the sound, it's the music, like it's everything. It
shows that Space Marines are bulky, but then it also shows how quick they can move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like when it punches that Inquisitor through the head, like far out.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I'm a Sisters player, and anything Sisters is exciting. So
yeah, fair enough. So
cool.
It's interesting how they're going to branch out. So we've got one that's going to be more Blood Angels, and this one's Sisters of Battle. So it's going to be interesting what the other stories will entail.
Well, they've got one for the girls and they got one for the boys, right?
Yeah.
So this model.
Yes.
Look, say what you want about the sister one. I don't mind it, but compared to that Terminator, that sister model's phenomenal. That Terminator needs to go back to the light where it came, in the darkness where it came from.
I don't get what GW are doing with their Space Marine characters. Like, What are we doing here? Are we going to go all Primaris, which we know you want to,
Yeah.
or are you going to continue to tease us along with normal Astartes models?
I highly suspect that all the like normal Space Marine models they've been releasing are ones that they've just had in the warehouses for like 6 years, and they're like, shit, we need to get rid of these.
Because this is a Grey Knight. Look at its arm. Like it's a Grey
Yeah.
Knight arm.
It's a great.
Not like the normal Marines do have the arm mounted storm bolters. Like Grimnar has one, and he's always had one.
Yeah, it's true. So does
Um,
Cortez.
But it's just definitely much more of a Grey Knight thing.
As soon as they explained this model to me, because I was like, geez, that sister looks familiar. And they're like, oh, it was the front cover of the ebook. And I'm like, cool.
Solid.
They probably could have done a bit more detail on the model, like on the bolter. But besides that, it's a phenomenal model, man.
Yeah. So this is for pre-order for the next 2 weeks.
Mm.
So I have a feeling these are all Adepticon models. So I have a feeling he might be from just before the Primaris release, the Liberian, and then the sister was after. And you know, people were like, "Oh, sisters," and then they did that reveal of Sisters of Battle coming this year.
Yeah.
So
Did
she
you,
was last year. So this is the year before that.
Did you see where someone's done an X-ray of this guy and they put his bone structure in? Like how his arms meant to work?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So
I mean,
his arms should be
we
here and they're up here.
we don't talk about like Terminator models in general though. They're all pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like this arm's okay, but the other one is
And then I think they did his waist too. And it's
yeah, his hip was all like crushed in.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that sister model's pretty sick. Like all the new sister models are amazing.
Yeah. No, so I can see people getting the sisters model. I can't see many people getting the Liberian one.
Look,
Unless they're collectors.
I would get that sisters model, cut off the backhand, and put a power sword in it, and turn her into my Canoness, because I don't really like the new Canoness model all that much. But
Yeah. Or you could use her as a banner bearer, like put a banner there next to her as well.
yeah,
The thing is I'd pay $50 for that sisters model, or $40 or whatever it's going to be, but I will happily pay $6 from China for that Terminator.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to rush out and buy it.
Yeah.
So
I may or may
yeah,
not.
$60.
May or may not have bought it. Cool.
Yeah, all the new characters are $60 now.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. And even the Liberian is 60.
Yeah, well, I got 2 of those librarians on the way, so I'm happy.
Is it just me, or does that Terminator look taller than usual? Like his waist. Like when you go back to the actual photo of him on the store next to the sister.
Yeah.
Like go back to the side by side. Does he look taller?
A
Like he's
little,
stretched
but
out compared to normal.
a little. I wonder how much of it is because he's half posing on a rock.
She's on a rock here too. So yeah.
She's also got fire there, mate. Fire. Yeah, I don't know.
He might be a little bit taller than normal Termies, but not significantly.
No.
Maybe they're slowly increasing the sculpt size of their Terminators so they don't have to do a Primaris Terminator.
I think Terminators are done for eventually.
I think Power Range.
Unless you're Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you will only piss off the Death Guard players if you go releasing, you can't have Terminators now because we now have Primaris Death Guard.
Well, how much bigger are the new Chaos Terminators compared to the old ones?
The new Chaos Terminators are like aggressor size, and the new Plague Marines are Primaris size. Like they're a little bit shorter, But yeah, the new Plague Marine is huge. Like he's only a mil or two shorter than a Primaris, and the Terminators are as big as aggressors. So what
The Thousand
Terminators
Sun
should
models too are tall, aren't they? Like the Thousand Suns are tall.
The Thousand Suns are only
Yes and no.
tall because of the hat. Like
And they
their
stand a
head,
lot straighter.
their head wise is like normalish marine size. It's just their hat's really tall.
So the new Chaos Space Marine plastics, are they bigger than the
Primaris
old school
size.
ones?
Yep.
Oh, they are?
New-
Okay.
Yeah, they're Death Guard size, so they're slightly smaller than Primaris.
Sweet.
Which makes Thousand Suns look weird because it makes the Thousand Suns, like, if you don't include the hat, the shortest out of all of them now. So
Yeah, right.
Chaos Law, Plague Champion, Chaos Sorcerer. Yeah, still waiting for the new Corn Berserkers, but we'll see what happens.
Mate, we're going
One
to see
day.
Noise Marines before then.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so there's your Chaos Terminators.
Yeah, they're big
Yeah.
boys.
They're amazing.
So, and then that's the end, or is it?
dun dun dun.
So early May is when they're going to be possibly doing the next preview. I have a feeling it's because they've got that Warhammer Fest, which is their own one that they normally would have done after Adepticon. I think it's like normally 3 or 4 weeks afterwards. But because
Yeah,
of the virus, they've had to push it back. So I think they're wondering what's going on before they will do anything.
I don't remember there ever being that much super interesting from Warhammer Fest. Like, they generally do the big reveals at Adepticon, so...
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they usually do. They used to do like heresy stuff at Warhammer Fest. Because they'd have, because that's in the UK, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
so
it.
they'd have Forge World there.
Yeah, I think it's generally more of a Forge Worldy thing, yeah.
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 I don't know, you might see some new stuff.
Primaris Blades.
Hey. We
So-
might... Well,
what's that?
Primaris...
Another lieutenant, maybe?
No, please.
Yeah, another lieutenant. Yeah.
We will actually start Codex Primaris Lieutenant.
Man,
At that
Lieutenant
rate.
and Stormcast characters, man. That's all they seem to put out. It's like, oh, far out. That's-
Look, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They got to be selling for them to keep doing it. Like,
they're pretty cool models. Like, they look cool.
yeah.
Yeah. How about, what, they're like 80 points or 60 points, aren't they, to take a Lieutenant?
Yeah, that's like
80-ish for a Primaris one, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want them to stop bringing out all these cool individual models and bring out, like, the old, like the Space Marine Captain kit with, like, all the weapon options that I want them to bring that out for Primaris so I can actually give Primaris decent weapon options instead of the random useless junk that they all have because of the stock standard sculpts that they put out. So
The real problem I have with, I don't know, with the way that Marines have gone in like this new edition, with all the Primaris everywhere across all the flavors, is we seem to have lost the flavors from the Blood Angels, from the Dark Angels, from the Space Wolves, which are one of my favorite Marine armies. It's like, why couldn't we have a Grey Hunter equivalent Primaris Marine?
well, we
Like,
kind
make a
of
close combat
do.
Marine.
We kind of do in the Incursor. Like, the Incursor model is basically a Grey Hunter, a Primaris Grey Hunter. But yeah, like, why can't my Space Wolf intercessors have chainsword, bolt gun, bolt pistol? Like, that's always been a
exactly.
Space Wolf thing. So
I like, Zach in the chat screaming for the return of Russ. Like, we're overdue a Primarch for
Look,
the Imperium.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping is that they initially had Russ, and then they released Morathi, and they saw everyone lose their shit over a dual form Morathi, and they're gonna release Old Man Russ and
Old
Wolf
Man
and
Logan.
Russ, and it's going. I will go here. Just take my wallet.
That rumor's been doing the rounds for a long time, and if that is the case, that's going to make so many people happy.
Mhm.
I Look,
We get like
I
an old school Russ, and then
the Wolf
you
and
know
Rust.
werewolf Russ.
Yeah, that would be
So-
sick. Especially considering like how good the 30k Lion model was. Like that was a really nice Primarch model, and 30k Russ is kind of So having a nice 40k Russ would be awesome.
Not as as sanguineous.
I say Sanguinius really needs like the Bloodthirster on the base to make that model work.
Yeah. They just dropped the ball with him, I think. I mean, that was their chance to do like a really brilliant angel model, and they just gave us another rock star.
Yep.
You know. So, but yeah, actually, we got a new Mephiston earlier this year, didn't we?
Yes.
Mhm.
More
Just,
opportunities to do sick.
I mean, you can still grow wings with Mephiston on the tabletop, so just model and go get some of the Sigmarine wings and stick it onto him. It'll look awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got a Sisters army there and a Gaz army and an Orc army to put together, so no more 40k for me for a while.
Is the Orc army yours, or is it going to be someone else's? Because I know the system
No, it's
is
mine.
definitely yours.
Yeah, I've had it. I bought it in 5th edition
Yeah.
to build, and it's two those 60-liter tubs
Hmm.
just filled with sprues.
Oh, that sounds like my Skaven collection.
Yeah. You know how orcs just like they spore and they make more of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's just how it grew under my house. There's orcs everywhere. So
Yeah. So, what did you guys think of the overall previews over the 3 of them? Miss, yeah, it's good, or you wish there was some other stuff in there?
Look, the initial release and like the second week release was somewhat disappointing. I think this latest one really like brought it back. Like the new giants, the awesome Illuminator model, and some of the other the snotlings. Like I think if you combined them all together, week 3 carried it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, week 3 was definitely a lot better. 'Cause I remember sitting in the chat during the week 2 review, and the amount of upset people asking for Necrons was insane. But I'm glad we finally got him.
And not disappointing either.
Yeah. Like,
So
I sold the
let,
Necron army off like a long time ago. I want to get that model though.
let's just hope that they actually make the rules worthy of Necrons now instead of the sad
Overall,
state
it was
Carolian.
pretty. Like the third one was good. As a whole, though, like I don't know. Like Aiden said, I'm a bit sick of the single miniature. Like here's a character, here's a character, here's a character for what's coming. Show us the actual army development. Like I'd love to see a teaser for new Emperor's Children, new Pariah models if there's Pariah models. I mean, they're teasing us a lot.
40k army, like
Yeah, I mean, the 40k is long overdue. What was the last new army? Gene Stealer Cult?
No, Custodes. Custodes was the last
Custodes.
new army, and that was halfway through the releasing of Codexes in 8th. So that was
What did they
a
ever do with
year
Sisters of
in it.
Silence? Whatever happened to them?
They are getting rolled into Custodes to be Talons of the Emperor with Psychic Awakening. That's how little they've done with them. They've done zilch since the models have come out.
Yeah.
Man, that's a shame.
Yeah.
It is.
But I feel that the Giants really carried over the 3 releases. I think the Giants really carried AOS releases for the whole lot because the High Elf stuff is pretty disappointing.
Yeah, the problem with the High Elf-
I liked the Mountain Tour, as I call them, because it's not a Minotaur, it's a Mountain Tour.
Yeah, I like that.
I liked that model, but the rest of the Illumineth range, I could take it or leave it. It's not that impressive to me.
Yeah, the Beastman was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The non-high elf model.
yeah, the non-order army with the Beastman in it. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it. It was okay. I mean, they're doing the best they can do, right, with what's going on.
Yeah.
I feel like though what they should have done was the high elves, well, the Lumineth, which I think was meant to be coming out this month, or this month, because they have their financial year at the start of May, end of May, so they'll be having it. And I think they were going to go righto. Adepticon will just show the whole army, so we would have seen everything by now. But because of the virus and all that, they've had to push everything back because this was going to be their big last release, so then they get that financial boost that makes them look good for their investors.
Have we seen everything now? We've seen everything now for them, though, haven't we?
We haven't seen the archers. I don't think. Have we? Have we seen the archers?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the archers are just a dual kit with the spearmen.
Well,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but if this is all there is, okay.
Well, what do we got? Spearmen, archers, light cav, great hammers, the mountain tour, and a couple of characters. Like, is that the army? Is that what we've been teased at for what 4 or 5 months at this point? Like,
Ironeth wasn't much more.
yeah, but at least like Ironeth had all the unique themes and fish and frickin' space turtle. Like space turtle is better than anything in the Illumineth range. Like,
Yeah, the Vidon.
When you think about the Deacon, they've got the thralls, they've got
they have
two builds of the eels.
two kits in the thralls, probably what, like one kit in the eels, shark, space turtle, the Eidolon, the tall guy, which I
Two
don't
builds.
like personally. And then a handful of characters. Is that the army?
Yeah, pretty much. All of their kits are dual kits.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
except for the sharks, I think. Oh, they might make 2 different variants of the
They
shark,
make
but
2 different variants. But yeah.
no one ever takes the sharks. So you just take eels. Eels.
Yeah.
That's it.
Eels.
Look, I just want 4 space turtles. I don't even play the army, but I want 4 space turtles.
They got cheap. You could take. There was a dude down at CanCon this year that was running 4 of them painted up as the Ninja Turtles.
I've seen them.
Nice.
Shit. And they do pretty well because they're cheap enough now. You can take 4 of them.
Now I need to paint up a Death Master as Master Splinter.
Yeah. So I see one painted up as Raticate out of Pokemon, and he had the Pokeball as the seer.
Yeah.
So the Pokeball was the thing.
I like it.
But no, I agree. The Giants pretty much carried this. I mean, that Lumineth woman, she could have been whacked into second preview.
Actually, my second favorite model in that release was Saul, which I didn't see until you showed me.
Oh yeah.
So that was overlooked in the actual release. I didn't see it.
Oh.
But that Saul Tarvitz model is sick.
Oh yeah.
And the paint job is crisp.
I would get that model and use because I don't play 30k, but I would get that model and use it in 40k wherever I could, because that is a fantastic model.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. But no, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in May. Whether they'll do another online style, or if they'll be able to have their Warhammer Fest. All depends over in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, well, I don't see their lockdown ending anytime soon, so...
No.
And thankfully, Queensland we've been doing quite well with ours, so
yeah.
Who knows?
Got to be careful, man. We're heading into winter.
Yes, I know.
Flu season.
Yeah, you don't want the double spike happening.
No.
Well, they just passed laws yesterday saying that you can't go visit aged care centers if you haven't had your flu shot this year.
Yeah, it's a pretty good law.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well, so hopefully the trending is good, and even when it comes, we might get a little spike, but it's not too severe. So,
See, Singapore got smashed.
did they?
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I've been focusing on ourselves more than anything.
I'm a historian, so like when you look at the Spanish flu, right?
Yeah,
So like they had a spike, and then they put in place
yeah, all the
Like-
quarantines. Yeah.
quarantine measures from back then. Then they released them, like they relaxed them, and then the second outbreak they had was way worse than the first outbreak because everyone
That's
was
always-
relaxed.
Hmm.
They just dropped all quarantine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't think that will happen these days. I can see us maybe going back to what we were having before, like going back to being able to have clubs and that in, maybe 6 months or so. But
yeah, I reckon towards the end of the year we'll see that. I know that pubs and clubs like
the
Venues?
nightclubs and that, yeah.
yeah, like not gaming clubs, but I know that because that's what I do, right? I'm a nightclub bouncer.
Yeah.
I know that stuff is going to be the very last thing that they reopen.
Well, there's
So-
some of the very first stuff that closed, so
Yeah, so unnecessary, I guess, but like congregation. So
better safe than sorry currently.
well, that's it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys hoping to see in the upcoming preview in May? Let's do some tin hatting for a few minutes before we log off.
Well, I wanted Giants last time, and we got them. So
Oh, my what I would absolutely love, because as we discussed, we think that the Warhammer Fest was generally Forge World stuff anyway. I would love to see new 40k Forge World books come out, because we're still sitting on the 40k indexes from Forge World, and they haven't really been touched since the first. Well, they haven't been touched outside of chapter approves doing points changes. So yeah, I would love to see more 30k Mechanicus stuff make it over to 40k. I would love to have a robot Mechanicus army be possible and get some of the cool stuff. And yeah, that's the biggest thing, and see some balance. Like so many of the Forge World tanks are useless now because for example, the guard tanks got the Baneblade got double the shots in the rulebook, right, to make it worthwhile. So the Baneblade has the same number of shots as a Fellblade, but is like under half the points.
Yeah.
So just a lot of stuff that needs updating and some actual love from Forge World, because we're on this year 3 of 40 of 8th 40k,
Something like that.
and we what has Forge World done in 3 years since 8th has come out?
nothing. And
and that's including Sigmar as well. Forge World has done nothing for the last 3 years.
when it comes to Forge World and Sigmar, they've actually gotten rid of majority of their stuff, including the Chaos Dwarves. You can't get the Legions of Asgore book anymore. So what are they doing with that army?
Yeah.
People love that army, man. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if Chaos Dwarves end up becoming a core Games Workshop product again.
that wouldn't surprise me if we see a Chorf army.
Like with how they're doing Sigmar armies, where it's like 5 or 6 boxes that are all multi kits, and then are calling a day. It wouldn't surprise me if Chaos Dwarves became core Games Workshop again.
And they are in the lore, and Hashish, who's their god, has made an appearance again too. So who knows? You could be in the background getting ready to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I remember them years ago saying that they were going to be doing stuff with the 30k Mechanicum and bringing them across. Because I had a huge Mechanicus army and I sold it for that reason. You couldn't use it in 40k.
From what I heard, and this is all on the grapevine level whisperings, was that the guy who was doing the Mechanicus to 40k, the 30k Mechanicus to 40k book, left, I think, and then just no one's really touched it from there. So
Yeah, right. Well, that sucks.
But I would love to see some actual Mechanicus vehicles, not the Da Vinci bollocks that's coming out. So I like my mechanical horses, but I'll pass on the flying machine as a flyer. Thank you.
What's wrong
that's
with
a little
Robot
bit on-
Cowboys, man?
I love Robot Cowboys. Don't get me wrong. I freaking love Robot Cowboys. Da Vinci flying machine for flyer is dumb.
Yeah, even the wingsuits look weird.
Yeah.
So when's the next one? May.
Yeah, middle to end of May.
So that's usually when they preview what they're releasing for the next financial year, right?
Yes.
That's usually when we get the General's Handbook or any new editions and things like that.
Yes, that's correct.
Give me 9th edition 40k, baby.
Oh,
Give me a reason to come back.
All right, Adam. I'm hearing something in your voice there. Come on, what do you want to say?
I wasn't going to say 9th edition, but at least 8.5. Just redo
Fix
the rule
it.
book with all the FAQs. Just chuck them all in one book.
Yeah.
Give me a mini rulebook so I don't have to log this thing around when I'm walking around with like 6 other codexes. Just give me a mini rulebook.
Well,
I
that's
don't
the
know
thing,
if
like, you know.
Did you see the mini rule book that they released? Was that even updated at all, or was it just the main rule book but toned down to be smaller?
Was this in like one of the box sets?
No,
Was
this
that the
was,
opposite to the gaming book for AOS?
I think so. Yeah, it was like a real small, toned down, direct order only 8th edition rule
No,
book.
I didn't see it. I doubt it. Probably would have just been all the rules, so the core and to advanced, and just cut out all the fluff from that.
Yeah.
Because the gaming book from AOS gave you the core rules that were updated.
Yep,
It had the expansion rules put in there with all the relics, with the realm rules and things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's an equivalent for 40k. I've been out of the picture. But it also gave you all of the updated, let's just say, chapter approved missions were also put in that book.
Oh, that's what I would love to see that, because I don't know where my old chapter approves are at this point. You can't go back and buy like the older chapter approves. So.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, we've been trying to get back into 40k, a few of us up here, just as a bit of a palate cleanser.
Yep.
And it's so all over the place, so we don't really know if we've got the right.
It's core rule book. It's your army. It is your army psychic awakening. It is your FAQs for both those books. It is the latest chapter approved. It's the FAQ for that. It's back to what I like to refer to as my 8th ed Skaven days, where I took a rule book, my Skaven army book, and then I had another army book of FAQs for that freaking Skaven book because it was that badly written. So, but yeah, 40k is logging around a library now, and that's like playing one army. If you're playing like competitive Imperium, which is 3 to 4 armies, then you're logging around 8 or so books to a tournament. It's ridiculous.
Like, I've got the new Sisters book, and I thought it was pretty well written. Like,
the like new Sisters and new Marines and that you can get away with because they're making rules to benefit only running that one book. So you get away from there. But if you're running like Guard, well, there's no point to not run other stuff that fills Guard's niches or stuff.
Do you think that's something we'll see in the new edition? Or the 8.5 is armies going back to being a solo army instead of, take this and this and this and this and this that we're seeing come in with 6th?
I think what you'll see is we'll get 8.5 codexes, and all the codexes will just give you a reason to run that army solo.
Yeah.
And then if you're orcs or necrons, you probably don't get anything because you can't take allies anyway, and you just get laughed at. But
yeah, well, all I really know. Sorry, you Rose.
No, you're right. You go.
I was just saying, like, from a casual sort of standpoint, like taking multiple different allies and stuff is usually pretty fun, but from what I've seen, like in competitive, like ICC sort of missions and stuff, they've been really pushing that mono faction sort of build.
Yeah.
Especially with like the rules where with new Marines now, you lose all your benefits if you take any other kind of allies.
Well, except for other Marines, so you can ally like Ultramarines with Space Wolves, for example, and you only lose the Super Doctrine, but you still get your doctrines. So
the same with Sisters too. You lose certain things if you don't keep it pure.
Yeah.
So,
which is good. Like I like it. It gives you a reason to go no, like because like getting into 40k if you're wanting to get into Imperium, right? Oh well, you're not getting into like Space Marines. You're getting into Imperium. You're getting into Knights Guard because Scions are good. You're getting into Inquisitors and Assassins and stuff like that, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. So
Yeah, too much carting around.
yeah, it's like playing a Grand Alliance in Sigmar, but having no downsides for playing the Grand Alliance. So yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty bad right now. If you wanted a comparison,
Mm.
it's like if Grand Alliances were good.
So it's time for a
Outside of-
restart.
Time for a tidy up, a prune. Doesn't need a restart.
End times.
Eighth is good.
8th is very good.
Eighth is the best 40k I've been from a balance
Ooh.
perspective. From a balance perspective,
Fair to say, man, I love 5th edition. It was the best.
I started on 4th. 5th was the start of the end times to me. No longer consolidating in from combat into other units.
Man, I remember 3rd ed with old Rhino Rush and things like that. Man, that was the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess on that note, we might as well finish up. So, thank you to my guests, Wes and Adam, for coming.
No worries.
And of course, thanks to my co-host Aidan for again joining me on this adventure. Right. So, if anyone's got any suggestions of any videos they'd like to do and want to join us and talk about whatever, just hit me a message either on this page or just grab some tournaments. Other than that, keep painting and be safe. And we'll see you all next time.
I hope
Yeah,
you
man.
don't expect me to get through my Skaven backlog by the end of this, by the way.
No,
'Cause
but
it's
we've
not
still got to do a
happening.
Skaven video though. Now they've got
Yes.
some changes, we've got to do that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll call it a night. Cheers, everyone.
I don't,
Yeah.